with the teachings of Rabbi Baruch Rosenblum. I will show you the screen and let's see what we study today. We will start now with a Midrash from Midrash Rabbah. Alright, Beha'alotcha brings a very interesting teaching on divorce. Eroa et Hashem kedoshav ki en mahsor lireyav. Right? Fear Hashem, His holy ones, for those who fear Him lack nothing. It says, you find that above 11 tribes offered sacrifices, right? In Parashat Naso, to 11 tribes offered sacrifices, and the tribe of Ephraim offered, and all the other Neseim offered as well, except of the Nasi, of the tribe of Levi. And who was the Nasi of the tribe of Levi? Who do you think? Was it Moshe or Aharon? It was Aharon, as it is written. ואת שם אהרון תכתוב על מטה לוי. And you shall write Aaron's name on the staff of Levi. Why? Because he is the head tribe of Levi. What about Moshe? Moshe is the head of Israel. Aharon did not offer together with the other Nesiim. Alright, so the tribe of Levi did not offer together with the other tribes. Now, Aharon said, Oy vey, perhaps because of me, HaKadosh Baruch Hu does not accept the tribe of Levi. What does it mean? Why does Aharon blame himself? Wait for it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Holy One, blessed be He, said to Moshe, go and tell Aharon, do not fear. You are prepared for something greater than this. Therefore it is said, speak to Aharon and say to him, when you kindle the lamps, בעלותך את הנרות, מול פני המנורה יאירו שבעת הנרות. The offerings apply as long as the temple stands. That's true. Well, as long as we had the temple, the first temple, the second temple, we would continue to bring the offerings, right? In the first temple, fire would come down, descend from the heavens. Second temple, they will use the fire. But what other type of fire do we have? So to say, it's not about the sacrifice though. It's about something else. This is the lamps that Hashem gave to Aaron and his descendants in a way. But the lamps are forever, as it is said, El mul panei menorah ya'iru, towards the face of the menorah shall the lamps give light. And all the blessings that I gave you to bless my children will never be nullified. Hashem says something amazing to Aharon. I give you blessings to bless my children, right? And what you are the middleman, let's say, yes? Now, the blessing that you will give them for me, they will never be nullified. Psh. This emphasizes the Midrash here. Regarding the point our rabbi wants to touch briefly. Aharon said, 11 tribes offered, right? Each tribe offered a sacrifice, and the tribe of Ephraim offered, and all the other Neseim offered, except for the head tribe of Levi. Okay, this is the Midrash, but it's interesting. Why do we need to say the head of tribe of Ephraim offered? And all the other head of the tribes offered. Why does it matter that we specifically say Ephraim? Alright? And then, all the other Nesim offered, but the tribe of Levi did not offer anything. What is the emphasis of the Midrash in saying that 11 tribes offered? And that the tribe of Ephraim offered. Why do we need to say Ephraim specifically? After all, he is one part of all of them. He is with them. It sounds as if this was what troubled Aharon so greatly. That 11 tribes offered, and the Ephraim offered as well. In Zera Barech, in the book he says something. What is the emphasis on the fact that the tribe of Ephraim offered a sacrifice? And he answers that the tribe of Ephraim revealed that the offerings of the Nesim, the head tribes, were not private offerings. Aaron thought that each tribal Nasi was bringing his own personal offering, private donation from their own, not on behalf of all of the tribe. He thought it's coming from their own goodwill. The tribe of Ephraim revealed that it was on behalf of the tribe. Right? When the head tribe of Ephraim came, he showed it. He revealed that he gives it on behalf of his whole tribe, not only a personal, private one. Why? The book Zera Barech explains that Ephraim was on the 7th day, as it is written, ביום השביעי נשיא לבני Ephraim. On the 7th day, the prince, the Nasi, the head tribe of Ephraim. The 7th day is Shabbat. How could a personal offering be brought on Shabbat? Right? Rather, it must be proven from here that if Ephraim brought an offering on Shabbat, it was not an offering of the individual head tribe. Rather, it was the offering of the whole tribes themselves. Okay? Interesting way. By saying that somebody is coming to offer on Shabbat a sacrifice, on Shabbat they would not offer a private sacrifice. There would be sacrifice of the whole, yes? Therefore, Aaron saw that the head tribe of Ephraim comes to bring also sacrifice on Shabbat. Now he understood. The spirit of Levi weakened because neither he or his tribe had brought an offering. And the fact that Aaron did not bring an offering, it is not only that he felt a personal loss, but now it's actually a whole entire tribe lost. Okay? Up until here are the words of the Zera Barech. So he felt spiritually weakened. Something like is weakening him spiritually. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Let's go a bit further, but I will say first. Hashem gave him some reassurance. What did Hashem give him? He gave him a mitzvah to lit up the lamps, and that will stay on forever. But people, we don't have now the Beit HaMikdash. We don't have the temple right now. So how is it possible that the lights of the temple last forever? Any ideas? No? Okay. This is Chanukah. The lights that each Jewish family lights. The Chanukah candles. Why the lamp of Chanukah? After all, why do we light the lights of Chanukah? Because back then, what we studied already in the Erev Kolel about Chanukah and the oil and all of that, amazing thing. From this temple time, afterwards they started to do the Chanukah, to light up the Chanukah lights. Little by little, they kept it as a tradition in order to remember the miracle. As we have in the Mishnah, how Beit Shammai and how Beit Hillel used to light it up. Each one have their own reasonings. Beautiful. And today we go according only to one. Most of the halachot are known that they go according to Beit Hillel. In the future though, we have Beit Shammai. Let's leave it at that time of Mashiach. Ezrat Hashem b'mara b'yamenu. Oh, wait a second. Shalom, shalom. So, after the temple and after Chanukah, מה זה?
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
We also celebrating the revolution of the Maccabees, which put down all the aristocracy of the corrupt children of Aharon, which they sell the places and they corrupt and prostitute all the Beit Midrash. So actually, we are not only celebrating their life, we are celebrating the revolution of a new leadership, which is also going to be corrupt later. We talk about the politics.
Yes.
So I think that argument is much more stronger than the Kat Katan, you know. I don't know why the sages are just continuously sitting down on this fire, and they don't talk about the huge thing that the Maccabees did.
Listen,
you know,
they do talk.
Second level. That's second level.
It
but
absolutely.
For me, is Maccabees.
Absolutely. I'll tell you why.
Done with the bastards, done with the corrupt people, done with the aristocracy.
I will tell you why. Exactly. What is the reason?
They moved them. They moved the floor.
There
was a rug pull.
Because Hashem said, כוחי, if anyone will say כוחי ועוצם ידי עשה לי את החיל הזה, חס ושלום, Hashem will put him down. If somebody will say, my might and my strength have done this to me, not Hashem, my strength and my might have done this to me, then what happens? People will start to trust in their own strength, in their own ability. They will say they go and do that. That is why it happened. And it's not because of Hashem, chas v'shalom. For example, somebody goes to work and he gain money. Chas v'shalom will say, because I went, I did, me. I went, I managed to trick it like that. I managed to, find this idea and so on. If a man all the time brings all the things upon himself that he managed, that he did good and so on, I did, the might of my hand and the might of my skill or whatever, did it to him, Hashem will put him down, chas v'shalom. Right? Now the Maccabees, that is true, Daniel, it's all a miracle, I'm not saying that. After all, they were a... Rega. They were a minority. They were a minority. Rega. Daniel, let me finish. They were few who went against a lot of people, okay? And Hashem, we can read in the Al HaNisim V'Al HaNiflaot, right? That we have on Chanukah, right over there, and you can see the difference between Chanukah and Purim. Alright? In your Siddur, you have Chanukah and Purim. Alright, don't in the middle of your Amidah, don't start in the middle of your standing prayer to read that and look and think. No. Open your Siddur whenever you have time and look at the differences. Try to figure it out what they actually say and why they say it like that about Purim and about the Chanukah. Okay? But overall, we have few miracles. The miracle of the oil, no matter what we're gonna do, if anybody will say, do you know why it was lit up? Because I was the one who put it. So what if you were the one who put it or somebody else who put it? There is no reason for it to last for 7 days, 8 days, 9, whatever it would be. 8 days it happened. All of the lamps are lighting. Whether if it was you who put the oil or somebody else, the fact is that it happened. That man cannot say it's because of my strength and my might. The light of the Chanukah continued to lead for 8 days. Everybody would laugh at him. But in war, if people will say it, others can actually think, oh yeah, you know what? It's probably true. Maybe there were a few, but they made so many traps and they made sure millions will be killed even though there are only 1,000. Does it really, in reality, make sense? No. For example, very different, but we earlier talked about it, yeah? Can a stone bring water? In reality, some stones can have maybe a bit of water, a few drops and so on, right? So, Moshe hit the stone. Now, people later on in the future can come and say, it's fine. Moshe, he knew which stone has water in it. So he just split the stone, there was some water in it, and he gave the people to drink. Yes, people can say that. Does it make sense, really? No. We talk about millions of
But
people.
it wasn't like that. It came blood, man.
Listen.
Like Egypt.
Wait.
It was like Egypt.
Rega!
He touched the stone, become blood, not water.
Daniel.
It's wrong.
Daniel.
It was water, it's blood.
Daniel.
Not water.
Fine, okay. And then Midrash continues and explain what happened, how they could drink, la la la. Fine. But wait, you understand the point that people can always say something about it. That is true. People can say, because there is some water inside the stone, so Moshe Rabbeinu just knew which stones have water in them. It's not my words, it's my rabbi's words. So stupid people around the world would say, yeah, you know what? Moshe probably knew which stones have water. That's how he gave everybody to drink. But it does not make sense. They make their own excuses. Okay?
Sorry, that's very stupid position, brother.
But I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. But still,
to make such an affirmation, you must be drunk.
Yes,
Really, like,
absolutely. But people
or
have.
cow, you can't say that, man.
Yeah, I agree with you. But people in the past literally said it. If you can believe it or not, people in the past have actually said it, which is just ridiculous, right? Now, with Chanukah, of course it's different. But in some level, we can see there is a miracle here that a few managed to win so many. That is true. But in order not to put some falsely reason upon why they managed, well, after all, there is a natural way how it happened, right? So it's easier to put.
It's just not people.
Absolutely. They were righteous men. That is why they can do it.
Levies, but they were levies from the other side, not from the side of the aristocracy, of the cream of the cream.
Yeah.
They were levies of the losers, Levites, and they wanted all the power, so they make a revolution.
Yeah.
But they are tzaddikim according to Torah, tzaddikim al me'atim, nachon, tzaddikim al reshaim.
Exactly.
So it's not anybody, and it's not people who say, it's my ego. Of course they were religious.
Exactly. And Daniel said the main key here. They were righteous against evildoers. And what is the Torah said? One of you can pursue even 1,000 of your enemies. And two of you, whoo-hoo, and so on. It suddenly multiplies by much more and so on. It's amazing. If you look at the Torah, one of the Israelis, when we are righteous, we run after our enemies, hundreds of them will run away. From who? From only one. These are the blessings of the Torah. Upon who this blessing can come upon? Upon the righteous, just like Daniel said. Exactly. But still, there is more natural intervention in war than natural intervention in, for example, the miracle of the lighting of the Chanukah candles, okay? Chanukah candles have more of an unnatural miracle than a war manner. Both of them are absolutely high miracle, absolutely. But we understand the point over here.
In my opinion, I'm sorry, in my opinion, the job those bunch of people did against the whole imperium is much stronger than a light candle.
Oh, I understand you. But
I understand that the rabbis, because they lost the power and they had to go to the Dead Sea and die there, they are just attacking them or not giving the crowns the Maccabim need, okay, after what they did. And so they're giving all the highlights to a thing which is not so important. Because if those Maccabim didn't do what they do, today we are not sitting here, brother. And the light could be light or not, doesn't matter for us. So I think there is a political revenge, let's say, nekama, that they do in the history against Maccabim, because after they did the conquer of the land, they went into Jerusalem and they kick away all the corrupt aristocracy there, and they became the new aristocracy. Well, actually, they also get corrupt, so we lose animal Levi. Okay, so what happened is that, we're going back to the problem for politics. There is a politic problem here. And that I think that the politic problem of this Chag is that the Rabbanim try to hide, putting it
Mhm.
under the ground, under the drawer, the thing of the Maccabim, because they lost the power. They lost aristocracy. They lost it because they were corrupt. So instead of saying that we were corrupt and we lost it, they said the light. But the light is not the light. The light is the Maccabim first.
Okay, listen, I am not so fluent in the overall politics of nowadays. Now you talk with me about politics of the past.
I'm talking about politics of the past. There is a mainstream speech. There is a mainstream. We talk about it with the Shlomo Melech. We're talking about sometimes the rabbis say things, and they are not exactly the things. They are just come from the ego side, come from the side of politics, come from the side of not losing power.
Yeah.
I mean, when I say that something that my food is blood kosher and yours, I don't say about yours, but when I say my food is blood kosher, what I'm doing? I'm making Lashon Hara over all the Gemara, over all the laws, and over all the Jewish people. Saying that I'm better than anybody else because I have something which you don't have. That's corruption.
Daniel.
Basic sense. And we see it every day. And that's politics.
Daniel, do not forget that there is also tradition for Ashkenazis and Sfaradis, for example, the way they slaughter, they have some differences within it. So if you are Sfaradi, you usually go by the Shechita of Sfaradis, and if you are Ashkenazi, you usually go by the Shechita of Ashkenazi. If there is two, it's fine. Thing. Let's read the following. You ready? We are now in Gemara, Kiddushin. One of the reasons why we focus on, I wanted to say this earlier, but you went against politics, but listen, one of the reasons we go about candles and less about the people themselves. Listen to this, Gemara in Kiddushin, alright? Listen to this, the Gemara continues the story. Let's go, what is, Rav Nachman further inquired, what is the reason that master proclaimed about him that he is a slave? So there was someone Rabbi Yehuda said to him, because he is in the habit of calling people slaves, and it is taught, anyone who disqualifies others by stating that their lineage is flawed, that is a sign that he himself is of flawed lineage. Okay, so basically, whoever deems other of a mistake that probably is wrong, actually, there is a strong possibility that what he deems other to be bad at, or they have a bad lineage, he himself can probably have that fault. Okay, so that's an example. Another indication of his lineage being flawed is that he never speaks in praise of others. And Shmuel said he disqualifies with his own flaw. Rav Nachman retorted, you can say that Shmuel said this halacha only to a degree that one should suspect him of being flawed lineage. But he actually said this to the extent that one could proclaim about him that he is of flawed lineage. We are talking about people speaking negatively about others for no good reason or for no good claim or whatever. Lashon hara, for example. Okay? Their faults can very easily, actually, the faults they claim about others can easily, might be actually found in themselves. Okay? So we need to watch out what we talk. Now listen to this interesting thing. That litigant, that man, whatever, said to Rav Yehuda, you call me a slave? I, who come from the house of the Hashmonaim kings? Listen, a man said, I came from the house of the Hashmonaim kings. You know, Hashmonaim, Daniel, what you just talked about. Rav Yehuda said to him, this is what Shemuel said. Anyone who says, I come from the house of the Hashmonaim kings, yes, I am from their descendants. Sorry, whoever says, I come from the house of the Hashmonaim is a slave. also be explained, only slaves remained of their descendants. Only some of the slaves. Now let's see something even a bit more frightening. Where was it? It should be somewhere here. Anyone who says, this is what Shmuel said, listen. At that time, anyone who says, I come from the house of the Hashmonaim kings is a slave, as none remained of them, except for that young girl who ascended to the roof and raised her voice and said, from now on, anyone who says, I come from the house of the Hashmonaim kings is a slave. Do you know why? That girl then fell from the roof and died. I just skip a bit. All of the Hashmonaim, yes, they won the war. They did the miracles in Chanukah. Beautiful. All of them died. None of their descendants even is alive. From the kings, the king's descendants or whatever, the royalty. Do you understand how horrible it is? We can say, okay, the kingdom has fallen. The kings and the royalty has been gone. But at least some of their descendants normally continuing somewhere somehow. Whether if people, it's mass known or not, maybe they moved him to another country or whatever. Maybe they spare the kids. Over here, the children, no one stayed alive. This is Chanukah, Daniel, unfortunately. Not Chanukah itself. After 3 generations, if I'm not wrong. After 3 generations. Because they is Hashmonaim. After all, from which tribe are they? Levi, exactly. And they were what? Kohen Gadol?
Second class Levi.
Yes.
We talk about it.
Yes. But
second class. You have first class, second class. This is aristocracy of aristocracy.
Yeah. But that's true. But
yeah, but I have a question.
Rega. But they are Levites. And they have even kahuna. Alright? Shmonei Kohen Gadol. Now listen. The sages said the following. They went against the will of our old men. By the will of our old man, we mean Yaakov Avinu. Yaakov Avinu said, לא יסור שבט מיהודה מחוקק מבין שפתיו. Something like that, yes? So, the king line should continue to be from the descendants of Yehuda. The moment the kings should continue from Yehuda, the moment King David was being taken, and Hashem gave to him the kingdom, him and his descendants, not anyone else. The kingdom shall be his and his descendants. Fine. The Hashmonaim did something great, saved Israel. Baruch Hashem. Through them, Hashem chose, not themselves. Hashem saved Israel through our Hashmonaim. Still, Hashem chose them. Good. Yes, it shows their value because Hashem chose somebody to save others. That man is very valued in Hashem's eyes, that he has the merit even to go and do it. Okay? But they continued to stay kings because after they won, they took the kingdom. One generation after generation after generation, they continued the kingship in their own lineage. What happened? They have Kehuna, they have the Levites, and they have the kingdom. One man have everything, so to say, yes? One tribe have everything. What happened because as a result? They were unfortunately erased from here, in a way. Yes, what I mean is that none of their descendants continue to exist. Strategy, this is a strategy, okay? Tragedia, okay? At the end of it is a tragedia, as simple as that. So yes, we emphasize more about the Chanukah candles than these righteous men that Hashem chose to save Israel. We don't forget them, we don't forget them. But still, We don't talk about them as much as the candles. Also, the candles themselves, we find that a correlation with Aharon HaKohen in the Torah, in Parashat Be'alotecha et hanerot, and so on. Be'alotecha, when you rise up the candles, can you rise up candles?